So there is a saying that only the paranoid survive, and the way sometimes we also pursue our world is that there's an end coming, whether it's democracy, whether it's climate change, and it's a very important to also take into account the long-term trajectory of things. And with the human civilization coming this far, I am an optimist who thinks that the world is eventually going to be a better place, but with some short-term pains, whether it's authoritarianism, whether it's freedom of speech being curtailed, whether it's about persecution. I think eventually in the short-term process, these are going to be shorter and shorter, but within the human civilization and history, this might at some point turn to be insignificant. But however, I don't underestimate the short-term pain points, short-term suffering of the people. And that's when I think leadership plays a huge role. Uh, if we are talking about democracy and if the philosophical underpinning of leadership is not based on democracy, then we do have a serious problem. I'm not saying that they should read all Plato or Aristotle. They should not. They need not necessarily debate on whether who is right in saying that human beings are fundamentally wronged or human beings are fundamentally correct. So depend, but the fact is, depending on how you see people, how you see the world, how you experience these things matter in your democratic leadership philosophical foundations. And at the same time, I might be really outrageous to say that we should also read Machiavelli, where he said, like, to if I have to choose between fear and love, I will always choose fear. So I am not encouraging that, but I'm saying is that maybe there is a time when we need to openly discuss about this serious fundamental philosophical underpinning of our individual leadership and take it into a country level, take it into the national level, take it into the global level, understanding there is a diversified thought process, there's a diversified leadership process, and there's a need to be greater tolerance, and that's, I think, is the foundation of democracy. Now, coming to my own country, I think it must be addressed that Bangladesh has seen significant economic improvement in the last past decades or even more than that, and that is important. That is very very that needs to be apprehended. But at the same time, we should not be bringing economic versus democracy debate as such. It's not like one overrides the other one to be prosperous. Even when we talk about economy, I think the economy needs to be resilient. And when we talk about resiliency, during the COVID and during various other natural calamity in Bangladesh, we have seen the economy can be resilient. But the question is whether it's going to be sustainably resilient or not. And when we talk about sustainable resilience, there's again, I believe personally that issue like democracy comes in, issues like freedom of speech comes in, issues like tolerance comes in, and you need to be able to bring in diverse perspective into a governance, into your accountability system, into your transparency system to make sure that your economy is sustainable. So it's not one or other. I believe that they both need to happen and they both need to happen concurrently for a sustainable development of Bangladesh. So,
Thank